Good morning, everyone. I'm sitting here today because I need to tell you something that could genuinely change your life, or the life of someone you love. If you have ever felt that afternoon crash, that dizzy, shaky, foggy feeling after a meal, or if you've been told by your doctor that your fasting blood sugar is creeping up, or if you already live with diabetes and you're tired of feeling like your body is working against you, I want you to stop whatever you're doing and listen closely because in the next few minutes, I am going to walk you through the exact foods that can help bring your blood sugar down and down fast, using nothing but what you can find in your local grocery store. No prescriptions, no gimmicks, no miracle pills. Just real food, real science, and real results that I have seen with my own eyes in patients who walked into my clinic scared and confused and walked out with a plan that actually worked. Let me start by telling you why this matters so much. Blood sugar isn't just a number on a lab report. It is a reflection of how well your entire metabolic engine is running. When your blood sugar spikes again and again, day after day, it doesn't just make you feel tired or irritable, it quietly damages the lining of your blood vessels. It stresses your kidneys. It clouds the lens of your eyes. It numbs the nerves in your feet. It raises your risk of heart attack and stroke. And the terrifying part is that most people don't feel any of this happening until the damage is already done. That is why I always tell my patients, don't wait for the dramatic symptoms. Don't wait for the diagnosis. Start controlling your blood sugar today with your fork before it controls you. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Doctor, I've heard this before, eat healthy, exercise, blah blah blah. But today, I am not going to give you vague advice. I am going to give you specific foods, specific reasons why they work at the level of your cells in trial, and specific ways to use them so you see real changes, sometimes within hours, and definitely within days. Let's begin with the food I recommend more than almost anything else for blood sugar control, and that is leafy green vegetables. I'm talking about spinach, kale, Swiss chard, mustard greens, and collard greens. Here is why these are so powerful. Leafy greens are extremely low in carbohydrates, but they are absolutely loaded with fiber, magnesium, and antioxidants. Fiber slows down the digestion and absorption of sugar into your bloodstream, which means instead of a sharp spike after a meal, you get a slow, gentle rise that your body can actually handle. Magnesium is a mineral that plays a direct role in how your cells respond to insulin. Many people with high blood sugar are actually deficient in magnesium without even knowing it, and that deficiency makes insulin resistance worse. When you eat a big bowl of sautéed spinach or kale with your meal, you are essentially giving your insulin receptors a tune-up. I tell my patients to fill half their plate with leafy greens at lunch and dinner, and within a week or two, many of them report clearer energy and steadier moods throughout the day. Next, let's talk about fatty fish. Things like salmon, mackerel, sardines, and trout. These fish are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, and omega-3s do something remarkable inside your body. They reduce inflammation, and chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the hidden drivers of insulin resistance. When your cells are inflamed, insulin has a harder time doing its job of ushering glucose out of your blood and into your muscles and liver, where it belongs. By eating fatty fish 2 to 3 times a week, you are cooling down that inflammation and helping insulin work the way it was designed to work. I often tell my patients, think of insulin as a key, and your cell receptors as the locks. Inflammation rusts the locks. Omega-3s are like a lubricant that keeps those locks turning smoothly. Now let's move to a food that I consider almost magical for rapid blood sugar control, and that is cinnamon. Real cinnamon, particularly Ceylon cinnamon, has been shown in multiple studies to improve insulin sensitivity and slow the rate at which sugar enters the bloodstream after a meal. There's a compound in cinnamon that mimics insulin's action and helps activate the enzymes that stimulate insulin receptors on your cells. What I recommend to my patients is simple. Take half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon, sprinkle it on your oatmeal, stir it into your coffee, or even mix it into a glass of warm water and drink it before a carbohydrate-heavy meal. Some of my patients have literally checked their blood sugar before and after adding cinnamon to a meal and seen a noticeably smaller spike. It is one of the easiest, cheapest changes you can make starting today. Let's talk about apple cider vinegar next, because this is one of the most researched natural remedies for blood sugar control, and for good reason. Vinegar contains acetic acid, and acetic acid has been shown to slow the breakdown of complex carbohydrates in your stomach, which means sugar enters your bloodstream more gradually. Several studies have shown that taking 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar diluted in a glass of water before a meal can reduce the after-meal blood sugar spike by a significant margin, sometimes comparable to what you'd see with certain medications. I tell my patients to mix 1 tablespoon of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar, the kind with the cloudy strands in the bottom, into a large glass of water and sip it about 15 to 20 minutes before their biggest meal of the day. Always dilute it, because straight vinegar can irritate your throat and damage your tooth enamel over time. This simple habit, done consistently, is one of the fastest natural ways to blunt a blood sugar spike. Now let's talk about nuts, specifically almonds and walnuts. These are nutritional powerhouses when it comes to blood sugar. They are low in carbohydrates, high in healthy fats, and rich in fiber and magnesium. When you eat a handful of almonds alongside a carbohydrate-containing meal, the fat and fiber in the almonds slow gastric emptying, meaning your stomach releases food into your intestines more slowly, which in turn slows how quickly sugar hits your bloodstream. I often recommend a small handful, about a quarter cup, of raw or dry roasted almonds or walnuts as a snack between meals, or sprinkled on top of a salad. This isn't just about blood sugar in the moment. Over time, regular nut consumption has been linked to better long-term glucose control and a lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes altogether. Let's talk about avocado, because this is a food I wish more people understood the power of. Avocado is rich in monounsaturated fats, which are the same type of heart-healthy fats found in olive oil. These fats have a minimal impact on blood sugar because they contain almost no carbohydrates, but more importantly, they help improve insulin sensitivity when eaten regularly. Avocado is also rich in fiber, about 10 grams in a single medium avocado, which again slows digestion and prevents rapid sugar absorption. I tell my patients to add sliced avocado to their salads, mash it onto whole grain toast instead of butter, or blend it into a smoothie for creaminess without the sugar spike that fruit alone might cause. It is one of the most satisfying blood sugar-friendly foods you can eat, and it keeps you full for hours, which prevents the overeating that often leads to sugar crashes later. Now, let's discuss legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas, and black beans. These foods have what we call a very low glycemic index, meaning they raise blood sugar slowly and gradually rather than causing a sharp spike. This is because legumes contain a special type of fiber and resistant starch that your body digests slowly. In fact, studies have shown that eating legumes regularly can improve long-term blood sugar control, sometimes as effectively as certain dietary interventions specifically designed for diabetes management. I recommend replacing white rice or white pasta with lentils or chickpeas whenever possible. A simple lentil soup, a chickpea salad, or black beans mixed into a vegetable stir-fry can become a staple in your weekly meals. Not only will your blood sugar thank you, but your digestive system will improve too, because the fiber in legumes feeds the healthy bacteria in your gut, and we now know that gut health is directly tied to how well your body regulates blood sugar. Let's talk about berries next: blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries. I know many people assume all fruit is bad for blood sugar, but that is simply not true. Berries are relatively low in sugar compared to other fruits, and they are extremely high in fiber and antioxidants called anthocyanins. These antioxidants have been shown in research to improve insulin sensitivity and reduce blood sugar spikes after meals. When my patients crave something sweet, I always point them toward a cup of fresh berries instead of a candy bar or pastry. The fiber in the berries slows sugar absorption, and the antioxidants actively work to improve how your cells respond to insulin. You get sweetness, you get satisfaction, and you get a health benefit all at the same time, which is rare in the world of nutrition. Now let's move to chia seeds and flax seeds, two tiny foods with an enormous impact on blood sugar. These seeds are incredibly rich in soluble fiber. When you mix chia seeds with water or add them to yogurt, they form a gel-like substance. This gel slows down digestion dramatically, which means the carbohydrates you eat alongside them are absorbed much more slowly into your bloodstream. I recommend adding 1 to 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed or chia seeds to your morning oatmeal, your smoothie, or even sprinkled over a salad. This small addition can make a measurable difference in how your blood sugar responds after breakfast, which sets the tone for how stable your blood sugar remains for the rest of the day. Speaking of oatmeal, let's talk about oats, but I want to be very specific here because not all oats are created equal. Steel-cut oats and rolled oats have a much lower glycemic impact than instant oatmeal packets, which are often processed and stripped of much of their fiber and frequently loaded with added sugar. Oats contain a special type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan, which has been shown in research to slow glucose absorption and improve insulin sensitivity. If you're going to eat oats, choose steel-cut or old-fashioned rolled oats, cook them with water or unsweetened almond milk, and top them with cinnamon, a small handful of nuts, and a few berries instead of sugar or honey. This combination transforms oatmeal from a blood sugar spike waiting to happen into one of the most stabilizing breakfasts you can eat. Let's talk about eggs, because protein plays a critical role in blood sugar management that people often overlook. Eggs are a complete protein source with almost no carbohydrates, which means they have virtually no direct impact on blood sugar. But their real power lies in what happens when you eat them alongside other foods. Protein slows gastric emptying and blunts the blood sugar response to any carbohydrates eaten in the same meal. I often tell my patients, if you're going to eat toast or fruit for breakfast, always pair it with eggs. The protein in the eggs will significantly reduce the blood sugar spike you would otherwise get from the carbohydrates alone. This principle of pairing protein with carbohydrates is one of the simplest and most powerful strategies I teach in my clinic, and eggs are one of the easiest, most affordable ways to do it. Greek yogurt deserves its own mention here as well. Unlike regular yogurt, Greek yogurt is strained to remove much of the liquid whey, which concentrates the protein and reduces the natural sugar content. Choose plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt, because flavored varieties are often loaded with added sugar that defeats the entire purpose. The high protein content in Greek yogurt, combined with beneficial probiotics, supports both blood sugar stability and gut health. I recommend it as a snack, topped with a few berries and a sprinkle of cinnamon, or as a base for a savory dip with cucumber and garlic. It is filling, it is protein-rich, and it will not send your blood sugar on a roller coaster ride. Now, let's discuss broccoli and other cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage. These vegetables contain a compound called sulforaphane, which has been studied specifically for its ability to lower blood sugar. In fact, some research has shown that sulforaphane can activate a genetic pathway that reduces glucose production in the liver, which is one of the hidden sources of high blood sugar, especially in people with type 2 diabetes. Your liver actually produces its own sugar, and when that process runs out of control, it contributes significantly to high fasting blood sugar levels. Broccoli and its cruciferous cousins help rein in that process. I recommend steaming or roasting a generous portion of these vegetables and including them in your meals several times a week. They are low in calories, low in carbohydrates, and packed with fiber and beneficial plant compounds. Cucumbers deserve a mention too, especially for those hot moments when you want something refreshing and light. Cucumbers are over 90% water, extremely low in carbohydrates, and contain compounds that some research suggests may help regulate blood sugar and support insulin production. While cucumbers alone won't dramatically transform your blood sugar, they are a perfect low-impact food to bulk up your meals, keep you hydrated, and satisfy hunger without adding any meaningful sugar burden. I often recommend a cucumber and tomato salad with a drizzle of olive oil and a squeeze of lemon as a side dish that supports blood sugar control while adding volume and satisfaction to your plate. Let's talk about olive oil specifically now, because the type of fat you use in cooking matters enormously. Extra virgin olive oil is rich in monounsaturated fats and polyphenols, plant compounds with powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Research has shown that consuming olive oil with a meal can reduce the blood sugar spike that follows, likely because the fat slows digestion and the polyphenols improve how your cells respond to insulin. I recommend using extra virgin olive oil as your primary cooking fat and salad dressing, replacing vegetable oils, butter, or margarine whenever possible. A simple habit, drizzling a tablespoon of good quality olive oil over your vegetables or salad, can meaningfully blunt the blood sugar impact of your entire meal. Garlic is another food I want to highlight because it has been used in traditional medicine for blood sugar control for centuries, and modern research is now catching up to confirm what many cultures already knew. Compounds in garlic, particularly allicin, have been shown to improve insulin sensitivity and reduce fasting blood sugar levels in several studies. I recommend incorporating fresh garlic generously into your cooking, whether that's sautéing it with your vegetables, blending it into salad dressings, or adding it to soups and stews. It's a simple, flavorful way to support your blood sugar without any extra effort. Turmeric is another spice I recommend frequently, particularly because of a compound called curcumin. Curcumin has powerful anti-inflammatory effects, and as I mentioned earlier, inflammation is one of the root causes of insulin resistance. Studies have shown that curcumin supplementation can improve insulin sensitivity and reduce blood sugar levels over time. I tell my patients to add turmeric to their cooking, whether in curries, soups, or even a warm turmeric latte made with unsweetened almond milk and a pinch of black pepper, which actually helps your body absorb the curcumin far more effectively. This is a small addition that, over weeks and months, contributes to meaningfully better blood sugar control. Fenugreek seeds are a somewhat lesser-known but extremely powerful tool for lowering blood sugar quickly. Fenugreek seeds are rich in a specific type of soluble fiber that slows carbohydrate digestion and absorption. Multiple studies have shown that soaking 1 to 2 tablespoons of fenugreek seeds in water overnight and consuming both the seeds and the water in the morning can significantly reduce fasting blood sugar levels and improve the body's response to glucose. I have had patients incorporate this simple morning ritual and report noticeably steadier energy throughout the day, along with measurable improvements in their blood sugar readings over just a few weeks. It has a slightly bitter taste, but you can also add the soaked seeds to salads or cooked dishes if you prefer. Green tea is worth discussing as well. Green tea contains a compound called EGCG, a powerful antioxidant that has been shown in research to improve insulin sensitivity and help regulate blood sugar levels. Unlike sugary sodas or juices, green tea has essentially 0 calories and 0 carbohydrates, making it an excellent beverage choice throughout the day. I recommend replacing at least one sugary drink in your daily routine with a cup of unsweetened green tea. Over time, this simple swap not only reduces your direct sugar intake, but actively supports better blood sugar regulation through the antioxidants in the tea itself. Now, I want to talk about something that isn't a single food, but a strategy that dramatically amplifies the power of everything I've just described, and that is food combining and meal sequencing. Research has shown that the order in which you eat your food during a meal can significantly affect your blood sugar response. If you eat your vegetables and protein first, and save your carbohydrates for last, your blood sugar spike after the meal can be reduced by a substantial amount compared to eating the carbohydrates first or all at once. I tell my patients, if you're having a plate with chicken, vegetables, and rice, eat the vegetables first, then the chicken, and finish with the rice. This simple reordering, without changing a single ingredient, can measurably flatten your blood sugar curve, It costs nothing, takes no extra time, and works with any meal you're already eating. Let's also talk about portion control and timing, because even the healthiest foods can spike your blood sugar if eaten in excessive quantities or at the wrong times. I always encourage my patients to avoid large, carbohydrate-heavy meals, especially late at night when your body's insulin sensitivity is naturally lower. Instead, aim for smaller, balanced meals spread throughout the day, each containing a combination of protein, healthy fat, and fiber-rich vegetables, with carbohydrates in moderate, controlled portions. This approach prevents the dramatic peaks and valleys in blood sugar that come from large, carb-heavy meals eaten in one sitting. I also want to mention hydration, because it is so often overlooked. When you are dehydrated, your blood sugar becomes more concentrated, which can actually raise your blood glucose readings. Drinking adequate water throughout the day helps your kidneys flush out excess sugar through urine and supports overall metabolic function. I recommend aiming for at least 8 glasses of water daily, and even more if you are physically active or live in a hot climate. Plain water, herbal tea, or water infused with lemon or cucumber are all excellent choices. Avoid sugary drinks, fruit juices, and sodas entirely, because these can cause the most dramatic and rapid blood sugar spikes of any food or beverage category. Now, let's talk about what to avoid, because knowing what to eat is only half the equation. Refined carbohydrates, white bread, white rice, pastries, and sugary cereals are digested and absorbed extremely quickly, causing sharp spikes in blood sugar followed by equally sharp crashes. These crashes often trigger cravings for more sugar, creating a vicious cycle that keeps your blood sugar unstable throughout the day. I encourage my patients to replace refined grains with whole grains like quinoa, brown rice, and whole wheat products whenever possible, and to be mindful of portion sizes even with whole grains, since they still contain carbohydrates that affect blood sugar. I also want to briefly touch on movement, because while this speech is focused on food, I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't mention one of the fastest ways to lower blood sugar after a meal, and that is walking. A simple 10 to 15-minute walk after eating can significantly reduce the blood sugar spike that follows a meal, because your muscles use glucose for energy during physical activity, pulling sugar out of your bloodstream without even needing extra insulin. Combine this habit with the foods I've described today, and you have an incredibly powerful, completely natural strategy for controlling your blood sugar. I want you to understand something important as we near the end of this talk. No single food is a magic bullet. Cinnamon alone won't fix years of poor dietary habits. Apple cider vinegar alone won't reverse insulin resistance overnight. But when you combine these foods together, consistently, day after day, meal after meal, you create a powerful, synergistic effect on your metabolic health. Your body begins to heal. Your insulin receptors become more sensitive. Your fasting blood sugar begins to drop. Your energy stabilizes. Your cravings diminish. This isn't about perfection. It's about consistency and making better choices more often than not. I also want to remind you, because I care deeply about your safety, that if you are currently on medication for diabetes or any other condition, please do not make dramatic changes to your diet without speaking to your doctor first. Some of these foods, particularly apple cider vinegar and fenugreek, can enhance the effect of blood sugar lowering medications, which means your blood sugar could drop too low if you're not monitoring it properly. Always work with your healthcare provider to adjust your medications safely as your diet improves. This speech is meant to educate and empower you, not to replace personalized medical advice. As I bring this to a close, I want you to walk away with a clear, simple plan. Start your day with steel-cut oats topped with cinnamon, chia seeds, and a few berries. Add a side of eggs for protein. Throughout the day, snack on a small handful of almonds or walnuts instead of processed snacks. At lunch and dinner, fill half your plate with leafy greens or cruciferous vegetables. Add a portion of fatty fish or lean protein, Include a serving of legumes or a modest portion of whole grains and drizzle everything with extra virgin olive oil. Sip on diluted apple cider vinegar before your largest meal. Drink green tea instead of sugary beverages. Stay hydrated throughout the day. And after your meals, take a short walk whenever you can. These are not extreme changes. These are small, sustainable shifts that, layered together, create dramatic results over time. I have watched patients transform their health using exactly these principles. I have seen fasting blood sugar numbers drop from the danger zone into a safe, healthy range. I have seen people come off medications under their doctor's supervision because their bodies simply didn't need them anymore. I have seen energy return to people who had forgotten what it felt like to wake up without brain fog and exhaustion. This is possible for you too. Your body has an incredible capacity to heal when you give it the right building blocks, and everything I've shared with you today is available at your local grocery store, waiting for you to make the choice to use it. So here is my challenge to you. Don't just listen to this and move on with your day. Pick one thing, just one, from everything I've talked about today and start it tomorrow morning. Maybe it's adding cinnamon to your coffee. Maybe it's swapping white rice for lentils at dinner. Maybe it's taking a short walk after your evening meal. Whatever it is, commit to it, and then build from there. Your health is not built in a single day, but it is built one decision at a time, one meal at a time, and you have the power to start making those decisions right now. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this information helped you, if it gave you even one new idea to try, I would be so grateful if you hit that subscribe button, because I share content like this regularly, and I don't want you to miss the next video where we'll dive even deeper into practical strategies for managing your blood sugar and improving your overall metabolic health. And please, leave a comment below and let me know which food from today's list you're most excited to try, or if you have questions about your own situation. I read every single comment, and I love hearing from you. Your health journey matters to me, and this community we're building together is here to support you every single step of the way. Take care of yourselves, take care of your bodies, and I will see you in the next one.